What's up, guys? Welcome to a very much needed episode. We've been traveling so much over the last couple of weeks that we have left ourselves a lot of work to do before the biggest JDM car show in Ireland, Japfest, which is this weekend. Our cars are dirty, they're tired, and we've got some that we want to finish just for the show. So this episode is going to be a lot of work, a lot of improvements, and a lot of fun because we get to go back to our projects. Okay, so the first car that we're going to put together for this event is Adam's car. We showed it to you guys in a couple of episodes ago. It is this Toyota Caldina. So Adam absolutely loves this thing. It's his new daily, but the suspension is absolutely horrendous and it doesn't quite look as cool as we want it to look. So today we're going to be transforming this car to get it show ready. So, Adam, look at his smiley face. You know why his face is so smiley, guys? Because the coilovers are being changed on the Caldina. How beautiful were the coilovers that came in it, Adam?
Horrific. Really expensive, high quality, supposedly high quality. I've never driven on them before, and they are the worst coilovers I've ever been on. You know when you go over a bridge on the motorway and the car will bounce for about 15 or 20 seconds the entire way down the motorway and you're just bouncing like a lowrider in the car.
That's not good.
Let's go.
I find this hard to believe that the old Toyota Caldina, not top of the, I know, not a popular car. What? For coilovers. But BC Racing have a solution for everything. So we are going to put wheels, coilovers and a steering wheel on this car, which, let's be honest, is the most transformative part of modification.
Absolutely.
So today we are transforming the car for Japfest. It's an unusual car. We like it because it's just a bit odd. And there's not many of them around, especially with the lips and the splitters and the wings. And wheels and coilovers are what it needs. Car's running pretty good, it's all serviced up, so we are going to put them in the car today. Also, still on the ramp is the R32. We were waiting on some tie rods on the front of this car because the ones that I ordered were wrong, because this car is originally a four-wheel drive model. For some reason, everything seems to be a little different than the R32 GTST two-door, and every time I order something is wrong, so we've got to order it again, so it's been a bit of a delay, but we're hoping to get this ready for the weekend as well. And we've to change the actuator because you guys will have noticed on a previous episode it was running a little bit smoky. Looks like it's over boosting, so the actuator might need to be adjusted. So yeah, we're just going to try and sort this thing out, get it 100%, and hopefully today have this and the Caldina working pretty good.
Push it up slightly, not all the way.
Up the corner of it to clean it different.
I'm actually unloosening it.
You should be a Calvin Klein model, my friend.
Yeah, every man body, not the other ones.
Real man, right?
I'm a real man. Wayne Curran.
I'm gonna go spray painting, I know that.
Smack it on the floor, smack it, give me some more, smack it.
always the first time when you want to see the car dropped onto its new coilovers and wheels, and looking good. I lowered it a bit too much. Back looks good. Front doesn't look good. The more and more we look at it, the worse it gets. It's not going to solve the issue today, but it might. If Craig fix this and get us on having an exhaust as well.
A bad day for you, buddy.
Not a bad day at the office.
They look class. Mad the different set of coilovers makes just to make the car look so much more stancy. Which is a nice bus now. That's the question. It's a little bit low and the roads are bad around here, so we always say that BC Racing, who are one of our favourite partners, really should do all of their development for their coilovers on the roads around Allenwood and Kildare because they're the worst in the world. Isn't that right, Rain? So if they can get from here to the shop, they will be able to tackle any road. Probably even the Dakar Rally they'll be able to go through if they can get through all this. So we're going to get taken for a spin. Adam O'Connor will, his hands on the beautiful Grip Royale wooden steering wheel, take his car with new BC Racing coilovers first spin, and hopefully it's ready for Japfest. Or it'll be back here in 5 minutes with an absolute disaster as usual. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, all in all with the BCs, like I've pretty much transformed this car because when I bought it, I loved it. But then when I think me and Craig got to the motorway, and all of a sudden I realised I hated the car because it bounced everywhere. You couldn't take anybody in the car and have a normal conversation because you'd just be bouncing down the road. But yeah, so all in all, a little bit of trimming on the arches, maybe a little more massaging to them, and it should be good to go.
Didn't sound too healthy.
Needs a bit of trimming. Yeah, get the air saw out and do a bit of trimming when we get
Sounds like
there.
a lot of trimming.
So, before Japfest, a little bit left to be done. A full buff and polish, definitely all around. A little bit of trimming, as you can just hear. All in all, we're on the home straight. Mostly, it was mainly suspension and wheels we had to do. Just a little bit of tidying up. We're 95% there, the last little 5% this week. We should be good. And as Lucas has called it, the Caldina will be ready.
Today we are fitting an X-Force exhaust to my A90 Toyota Supra. This is what it sounded like before. It's not bad, but I think it could be spicier. Okay, I'm not a jealous guy, but I did get jealous when Josh got sent an X-Force exhaust. I thought it was just a normal exhaust. Then he put it on his GT86 and it sounded better than my Supra. I can't be having that. So I got onto the guys from X-Force, got myself the A90 exhaust, and we're now going to see what the true potential of my Supra is, and I'm excited. So there's also stuff for Josh's exhaust here as well, including a Bluetooth controller for his valve system. So this is like the highest of the high-end stuff. Valves on my exhaust. A little suitcase. Look how cool that is. Oh, that's the Bluetooth exhaust controller. So you put in your phone on an app, and you can basically make the exhaust louder or quieter from your phone.
Can I have the suitcase?
You can't have anything. Well, you can have the suitcase once it's in the car, to be fair. So that's got to go in Josh's. This is the one for the Supra.
That's cool.
Wayne Curran, this is called technology. When Wayne goes on holidays, this is all he needs to bring through the airport, just a little suitcase like that. So this is the harness for the connection to...
Into the OBD socket.
Into the OBD socket, yeah. Wow. Fuck out. How cool do those look? So those are the new exhaust tips for the Supra. They're something similar to what we have in the car, but they're just such a better finish and look far more expensive because they just look cool. So they're going to protect, obviously, the heat of the exhaust, through this on all the splitters and the rear diffuser, which is really clever. So let's take it all out of the packaging, assemble it on the ground, then put it in the car.
Oh, story here, there's no pictures on it.
No pictures
There's no
in it for Wayne.
pictures. That's no good thing.
You gotta ask me, exit 14 off the M1, left, straight down. Yeah, try it again. Yeah, that sounded quite loud though.
Alright, so I've just installed the Varex control for the X-Force exhaust. So I've got an app on my phone. So the car has two map settings, which is like, let's say, smooth and end of the world. But I've also got now exhaust control where I can close it or open it. So right now it's closed. See the closed valve position? Give it a rev. Super quiet. For driving around every day, it's not too obnoxious. It's really, really nice. I can then put it on open with, let's say, the burble tune turned off. Try it there, Craig. So it sounds very just race car-y, no big pops and bangs. But I can also have it quiet with the close and sport mode on, as we call it, or the map on. Craig. So you get like a nice little mid sound, not too loud for your drone on the motorway, but you still get a little pop and bang if you want to, you know, show off a little bit. And then we've got open, which is open with the map on, which is going to be the end of the world. Craig. And that's very loud. So I got 4 stages. Also, what's awesome about this is I can put it on 50% valve, so I don't have to have it completely loud. Try that, Craig. It actually sounds pretty cool as well. So I've got unlimited amounts. I also have this matrix mode, which shows me the RPMs that the car is at. Give it a rev, Craig. Meaning, watch. If you have small revs, you can actually change it as it goes. So if you're just driving along normally, it does nothing, and you can actually change this. So it means that basically, once you hit the high revs, it opens up the valve on the exhaust. So not only have you got 4 settings, you've kind of got unlimited settings, so you can just play around with this to make sure it sounds exactly as you want. So I can just, on my phone, go, today I want it to be super quiet, super loud, or quiet until I give it the beans, and then it's super loud. This stuff is amazing. It's amazing how far technology has come for exhaust, and now the car sounds exactly as I want it, when I want it. So if you want to grab your own X-Force exhaust, you can go to their website. It's in the description below. And I guarantee you're going to have so much fun playing around with this. They do an exhaust for almost every make and model, and so check it out for your own application. I highly recommend it. And now Josh's car and my car both sound unbelievable thanks to X-Force. This is what it sounded like before. And this is what it sounds like with the X-Force exhaust installed. And that sounds unbelievable. Alright, so we got the coilovers and the wheels on Adam's Caldina. We got the new X-Force exhaust on the Supra. And Josh Holsworth is currently away on a couple of days off, so he's taken so long to put his Origin Labo parts on his GT86. But while we got some time, we're just going to do it for him.
Yeah.
Hard.
It's never perfect, is it?
Why does nothing with cars ever?
That's all that's in the box.
So we're going to put on Josh's splitter kit from Origin Labo, but we thought, and Josh thought, because the pictures it was gloss black, it came gloss black, it actually comes unpainted, so we'll need to paint that. However, Wayne is going to put the R32 back together. We're just putting some extended track rod ends on it just to give it a little bit more angle. So I've got the differential in there. Everything's pretty good to go. So hopefully when we drop this down, Wayne, this is the last time we have to drop it down. We have the fitment right, we have the wheels right, the Stroms are looking good, the BCs are set. This is the last time it will drop, and it will be ready for Japfest, and then essentially ready for road.
Walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and Riff from Puerto Rico. On a pirate ship, you don't know where do we go. The birds of the jungle chasing fortune and fame, but Juan is flamingo is not walking the same. Balaje de la flauta en banana for fun. Es una vida loca and chasing the sun. Guitarra. With a style and fashion, el ritmo del flamenco is heard to Japan. Embalaje de la flauta en banana for fun. Es una vida loca, keep chasing the sun.
Oh yeah, she looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Looks good.
I like it.
It's been a long time coming, that car.
Low key, that's my dream car.
We're counting down to Japfest, the biggest JDM show in Ireland. It's also the last big show of the year. So we had to finish the car that has been taking far too long, far too much time to finish. It is my world first 3SGE plus T S15. We're gonna get you up to speed because today is one of the final days. Aesthetically, we haven't got there yet, but mechanically, we're gonna get there today because we're going to the dyno and we're hoping to see what this thing makes. All right, so the guys are getting the dyno room ready, so it's a good time for us to catch up on this car and the story it's had since I bought it. It started off as a very, let's say, rough around the edges Spec S automatic S15, and then we decided to do a lot of work on it. So we put on an aero front bumper, the flow designs, underskirts, they're all the way around. The skirts are off it right now because we didn't put them back on for the dyno. We put on mirrors, we did a full respray, we've got a brand new bonnet, we've got aero catches, we've got wheels, we've got PC coilovers, we've got a full HKS exhaust, we've got a carbon roof spoiler, we've got a carbon boot spoiler. However, a lot of this stuff aesthetically is going to change in the next week, so how the car looks is not its final form. These wheels will be going, and a custom forged set of Strom 1-of-1 wheels will be going on the car for the show. And we've got a lot of different things to do. I think we're going to paint this the same as the body color. Lots of different little bits and pieces. But the main story of the car is that we're doing a world first engine conversion. Now, why is it a world first? Well, the engine that is in this car right now is from a Toyota MR2, which is usually in the back of the MR2 and on a tilt. And we've made it that to an Altezza gearbox, and then we've lowered the compression and made it a turbo. I didn't do any of this, Group D did it, and it took a very long time because in that time they built a lot of race cars, they built my Corvette, and this car has just kind of been tipping along. But as you can see right now, it has got a manual gearbox, and it has lots of work that it needs to get done. But the most important thing is, I want to show you under the bonnet, because that's the bit we're showing today. Aesthetically, the next few episodes will have it mint, but check this out. So I've brought Darren along. Well, Darren is obviously along because he's here for the dyno. Darren, is this the first car you've done this conversion to, fully?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is also a world first for the 3SGE plus T. There has been some 3SG TEs, but this is a difference.
So we're told.
So we're told.
Yeah.
The internet never lies.
No.
But
Nobody's actually claimed it in the comments yet, which is a rarity.
usually when we said we did the first SR20 NC, we were waiting for about a year for someone to correct us. It still is the only one. So this is the only one, and that's why it exists. It's not going to be the most powerful car in the world. We just want it as a nice daily driver with a nice, nice feel to it. It's going to be almost like a Toyota 4-cylinder, which I'm a big Toyota engine buzz this year with the 1Js. I'm actually quite happy with that. Maybe just even a bit of a break from an SR20 braking all the time would be nice for me.
It's lovely.
But I haven't seen the engine bay with the car all put back together. So the last time I saw it, it was all kind of mocked up. I'm dying to see this. This is going to be the bit. So this is the bit that took so long, not the rest of the car, but this is the bit that took a long time to do. So this is something you're not going to see every day. Look at that. So we redid all the engine bay in steel at grey because I really hated the original Nissan, which is kind of like a faded grey. I think it's just much cleaner, much stronger, and I like the matte finish. And then everything else just looks absolutely beautiful in here.
Everything has been touched up and everything, so it needs a full further clean before we're finished. But yeah, it all worked out sweet. All your intake and everything, standard throttle body from a Celica.
This is one of my favourite bits, is that the pipe for the intercooler goes through without a gap. It's like basically joined on the chassis.
Yeah,
which is
we made a plate there, and then there's a pipe welded to the plate, and then you've got a pipe each side. Same on the hot side. Same on the hot side.
So tidy. I see you've modified the old rocker cover as well.
Yeah, did that for you. They're a bitch to weld, but anyone knows that welds rocker covers, they're a disaster, but it worked out.
So we have a Walton manifold. This is the turbo is something
custom manifold, the only one. Yeah.
And then we also have a Garrett turbo that's top of the pops, basically.
Top of the pops. This is actually spooling at idle at the moment almost, so
no lag. And then we obviously did all this is all just me, because I wanted everything to look flashy and nice, and I love the clear cam cover. So what I like about it is from the outside this car is going to look like quite a lightly modified Spec or style with a little bit of stance and a little bit of stuff, but then when you pop the bonnet, it's just going to confuse everybody who looks at this because they don't know what this is.
Yeah, it looks really strange in that configuration. Like, it's just strange to look at because we haven't seen it.
And also the MR2 engine's always on a tilt, so it's the first time it's been.
And it's covered with an intake man. You never see the top of an MR2 engine or a Celica engine, you know.
And everything in here works perfectly, and we have the full Link ECU catalog in here. So that's the exciting part today, is that we're going to get to see what all that Link ECU stuff does, because we're going to go on the dyno and be able to hit the end speed here to see John tune it, basically go through all the maps and configurations. What we're hoping for is like a 250 to 300 horsepower kind of range with this car.
3 for sure.
3, you think so?
Oh yeah, it'll do more. It's just, you know, if we come across some restriction or something, it'll do more for sure. This engine will do a lot more, but we don't want that. We want a lovely, drivable, usable car. We could have gone bigger turbo.
I wanted a car that was, I know a lot of people think power is better, but for me, I think a Silvia with a 4-cylinder and 300 horsepower is the most fun configuration. It's not the fastest, it's not the wildest, but it's the most balanced and fun, and you can actually drive it hard. When you've got 500-600 horsepower, you're just going whoa and stop because you're over the speed limit. This you can drive a little hard on the back road, and we'll be doing a lot of suspension work in a future episode. But I'm excited to see this thing go onto the dyno. I don't know what it's going to sound like, what it's going to do. You're along for the ride today with us, folks. So let's get her strapped on, see how she does. For this video, we're going to use Darren as the David Attenborough.
Translator.
And we'll go, what's happening now?
We have to whisper in case the animals get started.
They get started. Don't scare the dyno people. So right now they're doing timing?
Yeah, base timing. So what they're doing is setting up the timing light, and you flash it on the crank pulley, but basically what it is to get the actual mechanical timing of the engine to match what the Link ECU thinks is happening to the engine. So the ECU will come set to a certain timing, and then you must make sure the engine is at that timing, so that when you start to lean on it, it's all at the correct ignition timing. Because if you're 5 degrees out, it could be the difference between melting an engine and not melting an engine once you start to introduce boost and everything. So the ECU has to see what the engine is seeing, if you know what I mean. They have to be totally synced, and then you know everything on the ECU is exactly the same timing wise.
So today we're going to do things where Darren says something and I'm going to try and relate it to something in my life. So this is a bit like when you play Call of Duty and you put the thing left and right to calibrate your joystick to make sure everything is on the screen the same as your joystick.
Yeah, you do the screen and
you do the little
check
screen
the
and
edges, you do the edges and stuff.
There you go. Technical.
That's it, yeah. I should have said
I
that.
understood Dave's a lot more than yours, Darren.
I would expect that, John.
So here's the update. John is obviously using all of the Link ECU sensors, which we put in the car along with our G4X, to basically just test a couple of variables out. So what happens at the moment is the turbo is on the standard actuator setting. It's actually over boosting a little bit, so it's actually getting up to boost too fast and then kind of losing boost as it goes up the rev. So it's going like at 2000 RPM, it's at 0.7 bar boost, then it goes to 1.1 bar boost, and then it drops down to 1. So we're going to adjust the actuator a little bit. We were expecting this to struggle to make 300 horsepower with the size of turbo and the setup we have. It's already made 300 horsepower off the bat. So John is just saying that he wants to kind of adjust it a little bit more. So using all the basically, if we were using standard Toyota or Nissan sensors, we wouldn't know a whole lot what's going on. But because we have Link ECU stuff throughout the entire car, it's so accurate that he's able to make small adjustments and know that the problem is at the actuator, and instead of having to do a couple of hours of troubleshooting. So one of the big advantages of the Link ECU system is that you can find the problem so quickly because you're plugged into everything, rather than traditionally with old ECUs, you would have to go mechanically checking a ton of things for hours to try and find the problem. So it means dyno sessions are much shorter and much more productive, I think.
I suspect it's going to get very loud.
So as you guys know, we use Lloyd from DRT Automotive for all our tuning, but Darren uses John Allen from Yen Speed, which we have had some stuff done with in the past. Great guy, John. So it's very close to where geographically Darren is, obviously very far away from we are. All right, so the car has been tuned essentially. Now all that's left to do is the power runs. Also, keep an eye when we go inside of a very cool Link ECU dash that is now running everything in the car, including fuel levels, speedo, everything wired up. So it's actually functioning as everything on the car, including indicator signals, everything. And Jar is just going to do the last few checks, and we're going to see what power the S15 with a 3SG makes. Just around about here that you'd be able to take second in the dry. That's generally what we're going for. So second gear in the dry, if you're an IS200 owner, sorry, but we're breaking into new ground. This is second in the dry sprint. This is the torque you need in the mid-range. A lot of people think it's all about power, but when you want to do a little, maybe if you lost control momentarily, you would have mid-range power to keep playing with, for just in case you need to control it again. And that's why we put a 1.5 diff ratio in the back, or that's why we put a 1.5 CAS diff in it, just to be able to handle, just in case it's a slippery road and I lose control, we can just get back under control again, because that's really important. You don't want to prolong any of this sliding around crack, you know? Not here at Drift Games. Not at Drift Games do we want to see any drifting.
That's all Dave wants is flames.
Hey, flames! There's a small burble. I said to John, nothing too obvious, just a small burble. I think we nailed it. I think we nailed that. Quite discreet. Discreet is the word I would use. John, love your work. So, what looks like this is the first time we've ever been to the dyno with very little issues. I think we had, one bolt?
Pretty.
It's an interesting conversion.
It's very interesting, yeah. So a good base engine has great potential by the looks of it. So at 1 bar boost, it's putting out that kind of power and torque. So
for everyone, that's 315 horsepower, which is 15 more than we kind of were aiming for, really. Which is, it's always better than less. If we got 200 horsepower, it'd be quite a lot of hassle for that. So while the car is coming off the dyno, really pumped on it. So we're bringing this car to Japfest, and the person that's going to be driving this car to Japfest is Jimmy Oakes. And the reason that is because when I first bought the car and got it painted, Jimmy was the first person to drive it. In fact, at this very moment in time, Jimmy is the only person that's ever driven the car. So I thought it'd be very fun because Jimmy obviously was complaining a little bit about how slow the Spec S automatic was, which is an awful gearbox and a very slow engine.
Yes.
And now it's a completely different car. However, it's got to go back to Darren. We're going to put suspension arms in it. We got brand new 1-of-1 wheels from Strom coming, forged wheels from Strom, on their way somewhere in the air right now. And then we have a couple of aesthetic bits and pieces to change as well, which is kind of like just stuff we want to update from when the car was dropped off. And then hopefully all of that will come together. We'll bring it to Japfest and everybody gets to see it, because Japfest is the last big JDM car of the show of the year. And obviously Jimmy will be driving not only my S15 but Darren's his PS13 in competition. So it's gonna be a fun weekend. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you grab them. We've got a lot of cool stuff to finish this car off, and hopefully at the end of Japfest we'll be bringing it back to Drift Games HQ as a done, finished car. We'll see you guys on the next episode.